Hola, beautiful people. It's me, Maris, and I just realized I forgot something. So you're going to have to like walk with me while I look for the thing that I need. I'm going to do a reading, and then I just realized I only have one stand and I'm using it. I need two stands, one for the phone, one for the card. And oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to have to play like a Marine and adapt and overcome. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just pull one of these. Yeah, just make it easy. It's one of those stands where you can put 3 cards, unless they're the big fat juicy cards, then you can do 2 cards, and when you're doing a reading, that way you've got something that you're kind of looking at, getting a reference for on that. So anyway, I am back at my little reading table area, and today is Thursday, and we're going to do a weekend energy forecast. I think it's very, very important. I don't know why, but it's kind of weird is when I go home, sometimes it's hard for me to do, I can do individual readings, but to sit down and try to do like a global or national or a broad spectrum kind of reading, I have a hard time doing it. I've got to like figure out what I need to put in my room. Maybe I just need to put a bunch of crystals in each corner, and maybe around the room to kind of give it a little, make that room a crystal grid, and see if I can do what I call broad spectrum readings. So we're doing the weekend energy forecast, and New Orleans is, New Orleans, whatever you want to call it. That's my city. I love that city. That is where my heart is. If my husband would move to New Orleans, I would move in a heartbeat. And people go, I know, but the hurricanes and the crime, and I'm like, I love that city, and that city, in actuality, really loves her people as well. And that's the part that I really like about New Orleans. And it's got good food, good music. It's just my vibe. So I want to honor her today. I know that the city is going through some really crummy things in the last couple of days, and I want to honor her. She always embraces me as if I'm coming home. So we're using the New Orleans Oracle deck, and that is for our reading for this weekend, the weekend energy forecast. And I was like, there's Mother Mary back there behind me. The first card. Let's see if anything else. They usually say like 3 to 5 cards. I might push it. I'm not feeling that one. Okay, there we go. Anything else? Okay, all right, so she did give me those. We're gonna roll with those. And whew, okay, so I have a handful of cards. New Orleans deck. We're doing our weekend energy forecast. This is the first weekend of the new year, and again, in honor of my favorite city that I love so much, New Orleans, in honor of her vibration, to raise it, we're going to use her deck in the reading. And so I've got a little bit, normally it's a 3 to 5, and I think I've got like 6 or 7, but those came flying out of the deck, so I'm going with it. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, interesting. Okay. All right, so let's look at the first row. No need to give it an introduction. She gives herself an introduction with music healing upside down. So when I'm looking at this, the word I got was wounded. Wounded. Your heart's wounded. Oh, hello, Liz. How are you? That our hearts are wounded, the heart is wounded, um, but the heart is wounded. We're feeling it, we're carrying heaviness there, but we have as an obstacle as a Make-A-Wish. And when I'm looking at this card, and I'm going to move this over a little bit, and I'm going to add this one, and it says share your gifts. I'm going to explain that energy coming in like this. Yes, we know that we're wounded. Yes, we know that we've been hit hard. Yes, we know that we're carrying some heaviness in our hearts. However, we have that Make-A-Wish card is in the second position, which if you follow my readings, I usually use that second position as the obstacle. So the obstacle here is when I'm looking at that, and then the help is share your gifts, is we're trying to figure out how we can come together. Like, I wish we could just come together and just heal. I wish we could come together and create peace. I wish we could come together and, okay, well, that and is answered by this last card, that share your gifts, okay? That share your gifts. So bring to the table what you do best. Bring to the table what you do best. In adversity, in slowdown, in stagnant energy, whatever. Bring to the table what you do best. That's what that first line, when we look at music healing upside down, flowing into the obstacle of Make-A-Wish, and then we look at share your gifts. So it's saying, okay, yeah, things are not in a good energy right now, but what we need to do is we need to come together and share our gifts. Let's make magic together. All right, so wow, that is interesting. And I'm going to say this is an interesting little read here. I'm going to kind of move these like this so you can kind of see all at the same time. Okay, you see you've got intuition, and this is the first line is that what the energy coming in. The second line is what is it doing? Where's, what's its goal, or what's it reaching to? And then the last line, which will be, actually 3 cards. Whoa. That will be where we're headed, or what's the outcome. And the outcome, always remember this: chance favors a prepared mind. And as long as you know what's happening, you can make your game plan to change the way things are going to roll out. If you know that things aren't going to be great, you know now how to cushion it so you don't take that. And when I mean hit so hard, I'm not meaning a physical hit, just clarifying. Okay, so let's look at what this energy is doing. Okay, whoops, there we go. Come on, Facebook. Okay, there we go. So we've got intuition is that theme of the energy, and in this it's kind of like seeing things as they really are. Seeing things as they really are. Very deep discernment. That, it's kind of like you wake up and you know the meaning of life. I'm being just a little facetious with the meaning of life because I think that's an evolution. But I think you understand what I mean. It's like having really deep discernment. And the abundance card here, abundance isn't always about money. And when we're looking at the intuition and developing to where you have a really deep intuition with that, and then I look at this abundance card next to it in the obstacle, I'm kind of laughing, and I'm like, the real big message there is that during this information dump, or, when you start really seeing things as they are, it gets to a point where it's like TMI, too much information, like some things I don't want to know. Ooh, the visual on it is making me sick. That kind of energy on there. So be mindful. I mean, when you're in the midst of that energy, be mindful of what you actually connect or embrace with. All right, and then this elusive priestess. I'm not feeling it as a person. I'm feeling it as a concept or an idea. And I'm going to say that concept or idea in a good way is always like 2 steps ahead. That concept or idea in a good way is always 2 steps ahead. Now we're looking at the last line, and this is from that New Orleans deck. And we're starting here with create your reality. Self-care is in the obstacle position. Funny. And companionship is upside down at the end. But let's see what they all mean together. So that create your reality. And I notice it's a dragonfly, which is a very auspicious sign. And in that, what I'm getting is like what you say is what you create. So if you said, I am joy, you create joy. If you're like, I'm so angry, guess what? You're going to create anger. So what you say is what you create, and that becomes your reality or the reality that you're living in. So be very mindful of that, because remember, with that abundance, yeah, you get some TMI, but your discernment really super grows. That means that you're really connecting in with frequency and getting all this ability, the support, okay, that energetic universal support. So what you say, what keeps repeating in your mind over and over and over again, you're going to be creating that. So be very mindful of your words. Be mindful of your thoughts. If you start having negative thoughts, think of how you break out of that routine for that. Okay. Now you see that, okay, come on, turn over. That self-care here is in the 2nd position. And, you know, reading with me, that 2nd position is usually the obstacle. Don't neglect yourself. Make your appointment. Make an appointment every month for your self-care. And I'm like, and yes, I believe that you need to be doing self-care at home as well and creating your own routines at home. But sometimes you need to go and have somebody provide and pamper you with that self-care. Okay? You know, every good healer, every good therapist, every good pastor, every good teacher, everybody has somebody that they work with. How can I switch it to joy? I'm like fire with lighter fluid. I get that. And I'm going to tell you, your right hand is the hand that is what I call the lavaging hand. It's going to be the hand that pushes in energy into a place that is out of balance. So anger is going to be in a couple of different places. We can feel anger in our heart, and I think when we feel anger in our heart, that's when we're more apt to act out. But we hold anger and we nurture anger in our liver. So you're going to do 2 things, Sylvia. You're going to take your right hand and you're going to put your right hand on your chest right here. And I just want you to say the word joy. 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 And just keep repeating that. And it may take 3 to 5 minutes. And then take your hand off, and you've already programmed that word in. And then let's say you're driving down the road and you notice that you've got that rage. At every stop sign, every stoplight, when you're stopped, you're going to put your hand on your heart and you're going to do the same thing again. You're going to go joy, joy, peace, peace. Anger is the opposite of peace. So kind of start looking at, or no, actually it is joy, you're right. But peace also, because we can have anger but have peace and not act out on it. So if that makes any sense to you right now. And then right side underneath your breast, right, right there, that hand right underneath your breast tissue, that's where your liver is, under the ribs. I want you to put your hand on there and remember, anger is stored in the liver. So here, that's where we're going to focus that lavaging, that white light, that healing on that liver. And then at another time, come see me. Just call me, or don't call me, text me, and come see me. Just bring me some Sprite, and let's do a little Reiki and get you feeling groovy again. Thank you, Sylvia, for asking. Sylvia, I know that this will show up on YouTube later on, and her question to me is, when I'm angry, how can I switch it to joy? I'm like fire with lighter fluid, and I'm like, I totally relate. I understand. Been there in that. And then, feel free to comment on this if you're watching this video. Feel free to comment. Now, the last card is the card that I'm kind of like with, and it's the companionship card upside down. So I'm going to give just a little insight to that. When I'm seeing that with self-care and kind of rolling in there with reality and just like some of the things going on, I'm going to say it like this. You're going to lose some people that you thought were really great, awesome friends, that it's not that they're not really great, awesome friends, or they're not really great, awesome people, but you and that other person don't make great, awesome people together. And that's okay. That's totally okay. Respect that. Allow it to go. Sometimes people need to take a break, even if it's on a negative term. They need to take a break so they can regroup and process and recalibrate and maybe do things in a different way. So I hope you enjoyed this weekend energy forecast. I will not lie. Some of it gave me a little bit of indigestion, and I'm over here like, I better go drink some water and get my peppermint out. That was some of it was a little stressful, but guys, plug into the collective. It's amazing the things that we can accomplish when we're all on that collective consciousness. So peace, love, and harmony. I hope to see you soon.